This is a vertical leg press. So we're going to be pressing straight up. You're going to lie down on the pad and you're going to raise your feet up and put them on the foot plate. Now you want your feet directly over your hips. So your knees are going to be all the way into your chest and probably feel like they're up to your ears. Now we want to have our feet about hips distance apart, maybe a little wider so that they can obviously bring your knees down towards your chest. And we really, really want to focus on pressing through the whole foot. So we want our heel to stay down on the foot plate. If you are lacking ankle mobility and your heels keep coming up, let's work on that. But here we're pressing through the whole foot, the heel, the toes, and you're bringing your knees literally down into, it feels like your armpits. So you're going to feel this on your hamstrings. You're going to feel it in the glutes, and you're going to feel it a little bit in the quads. You should not feel anything in the lower back. Your knees should not hurt. This main driver is glutes, hamstrings, because we're really stretching out the hamstrings here with that deep hip hinge as the knees come down towards the chest. And that is our vertical leg press. Unilateral elevated hip raise or bridge here. So one foot goes up on the bench, the other foot goes up in the leg. So we're moving our entire body weight with just the one leg. The elevation is giving us extra range of motion. So we really should feel this in the hamstring and in the glute of that working leg. You're going to also feel core working a little bit, but primarily it's going to be hamstring and glute of that working leg. You want to be really pressing through the heel on the working leg. We shouldn't have any pain in the lower back here. If you do, please let me know and we'll fix it. But it's just hamstring and glute working here. You want to try to get equal reps on both sides. And another really great thing about this exercise is that since it's single leg, it's really allowing you to focus on any muscle imbalances between the two legs. And you'll also be able to see if it feels different side to side as far as any tightness or range of motion goes. And then we can also work on adjusting and correcting that. But that is our unilateral or single leg elevated hip raise. We're going to do a banded RDL. So with the RDL, we don't necessarily need to touch the weight down on your reps. It's more about that hinge and the stretch in the hamstrings and that stretch and load in the hamstring glute connection. By using a band, we are able to place it below the knees, and then we're going to press outwards into the band ever so slightly. This is going to really engage and activate the glute medius. So if you've been struggling with feeling RDLs in your glutes, this might be a good option to really get those glutes firing. So we set the band below the knees, press the knees into the band. Then we're going to place the bar, roll it so it's over the arch of the foot. Bring the hands outside the knees. You're going to lock the lats down and inhale. Then we stand up. And then it's all about that hip hinge. So as we push the hips back, the knees slightly bend, we're keeping that pressure outwards into the band, keeping the glutes firing continually through the whole exercise. We have a slight tuck of our chin. We want to do everything we can to keep our spine neutral. So really making sure that the lats are doing their job in keeping the arms in line with the bar, keeping everything right over the top of the arch of our foot. We inhale at the top, get nice and strong, and then exhale as we come back up. So we're controlling breath. That's going to help also make sure that the pelvic floor is activated and that we're not bearing down into this exercise. So push the hips back, find that stretch, find that load. And then as we come back up, we're going to feel the contraction in the glutes. So make sure we're pressing into that band throughout the whole exercise. And that's your banded RDL. This is a Cossack squat, so it's really heavily adductor focused. If you're just learning this, please try body weight before we add weight. And then if you're adding weight, you can use dumbbell, you can use kettlebell. So we're starting wide foot position. Take your feet way outside of your shoulders. Toes are going to be pointed slightly to the sides, not all the way out for plie, but slightly to the sides. Then we are really leaning into one leg and bending all the way down. So bend the knee, hinge back, and lowering down as far as you can. With that opposite leg, we're letting that toes come up off the floor. And then as we're coming back up, we're really pressing through that leg that we're leaned over on. So here, press through the whole foot. And then come back up. So you're going to feel this a lot in the adductors, and you're going to feel a nice hamstring stretch too.